You're good.
Okay, cool. So what is your
Okay.
Okay.
Kind of talking about bullying. I did that. So, have you ever been bullied? Have you ever seen someone get bullied? Have you ever been in a situation?
It's weird because when I think back to my high school experience, I think I probably was bullied. I just didn't really notice it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of introverted. I witnessed a lot of bullying. Never, usually towards one of my, I had one openly gay friend who came out in middle school. He was the first person in our age that came out. And I saw him get bullied a lot. He went through a whole lot. He eventually ended up transferring schools. I've also seen, I had a friend who was bullied by her grandmother. I guess that classifies as abuse.
Yeah.
But it was bullying, you know. It was mostly emotional stuff, and sometimes turned physical.
So I guess it's like more so.
She ended up running away.
American. Would you say?
Yeah, my experience personally with bullying though is different because I wasn't really aware that it was going on. I didn't acknowledge it that much. It wasn't until past 2 years that I started to think back on my experiences when I was younger, and I probably was getting bullied a lot more than I thought I was. It's a good way to come out unscathed, I guess.
Yeah. So, just tell me about the experience. You did say that. So, how did it affect you? What did you do anything about it? Did you just kind of?
I remember when I used to get called hippie girl a lot because this was during the Bush administration. I disagreed with the politics at the time. I was very vocal about it. I soapboxed a lot. Like I said, I had an openly gay friend, and I would stand up for him a lot. Get called a lesbian. I mean, it didn't change me at all at anything. It just kind of made me smarter about how to speak up about these things. I started to learn more of like place and time for when it's appropriate to come back. I started reading a lot more, learning a lot more, so that I knew that when I would get into these confrontations, that I would be informed. I just kind of pushed myself to be smarter than the people around me. And that ended up being a pretty good strategy, because when you can end a conversation with just plain facts, usually it just tends to make people back off. I mean, that probably led to them bullying me for other reasons, but they kind of stopped when they started taking my papers to answer the questions off of them during class time. So that was, when I was getting bullied, I figured that I was kind of looked down on because I wasn't smart enough to figure out a way to get out of it. It was never that I was doing something wrong. It was always everyone else's fault. I just wasn't handling it the right way. Helped me. It actually ended up helping me a lot as a person.
So
became a lot stronger and smarter. And
it's something that they will never notice, but it's stuff for like if
not fun.
It will never pop up on your feed, but on all of your friends, it'll say.
What do you think causes people to bully others?
Steve has changed her profile.
Insecurity.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not at fault. I'm sure I've bullied a few people to myself. I mean, it's usually in a workplace scenario where it's not necessarily that I feel insecure about myself or anything. It's just more to put other people in their place and so that I can demand the respect that I should have when I'm running something.
Yeah.
Other than
How do you
How do you feel about time?
You know, it's no, there's everything that happens in our lives is just also competitive, and we all are working so hard to do whatever it is that we want to do or be whatever person that we think we want to be, and trying to define ourselves. And you get kind of lost in all that. You see people who are more set in a certain way, and they're doing. I mean, every person is different, but you see a quality in that person that you want in yourself. And so instead of learning from that person, you try to figure out a way to bring them down so that you can feel better about them in a different way. As long as you know that you can still be better than them in another way, it makes that one quality that you wish you had a little bit less.
I didn't know that.
That works really. So, we'll go to, what advice would you give someone if they had just been bullied?
It gets better. You know, and when you're young,
Yeah, so it was like
I still consider myself to be really young. I mean, you think you've got all of the answers, and you're always going to think you have all of the answers no matter what age you are, but when you get, no matter what, you're going to get older, and you're going to look back at things in retrospective with more knowledge than you had before. And it doesn't really matter what's happening right now as long as you decide that what you want to happen next to be better, and start working towards that next moment. Start trying to figure out something that you want to do better yourself. Because I think that the only way to really kind of get past that confidence issue.
Sorry?
Is there a chance that I can get you to re-answer something? Well, I wrote down little like snippets about what you had talked about. Just elaborate. Just kind of go over those answers again because I lost the flow there.
Yeah, you tell me when.
So I guess the next question.
Yeah, I'd just say it's not really advice as much as, you know, you gotta be strong, and you don't need to find strength within yourself necessarily. You can turn to a friend, you can turn to a parent, you can turn, if there's no one to turn to, I mean, look in a book and find a character that you relate to that's stronger. I mean, just find, you don't need, it doesn't need to come with you, from you, but as long as it's working towards you
I guess I just want to
becoming stronger, I guess.
It's like, what's the person that comes to your
Last one would be, do you think there are any teachable solutions for people about bullying?
No. I think that the only, I mean, in schools, in like a school scenario, I feel like there should be zero tolerance for bullying of all sorts, physical, verbal. I mean, if you see someone getting intentionally hurt by another person, something needs to be addressed, because people shouldn't act that way to each other, and it should be something that you're learning at a young age to avoid. But I think people are always going to bully each other, and the best thing that can come out of it is for you to just learn how to deal with it yourself, because you can't, if you go your entire life without ever feeling like you've been brought down, what's going to happen to you when you are brought down by someone?
Very good point.
There's jellyfish.
I like that.
So I'm eating jellyfish.
I'm good.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you
Great.
very much.
Okay, there's this feeling that you get.